Yo, hey there, guys. Welcome to the first episode of All You Can Eat Bucks. In today's episode, and we're gonna get things off with a bang. We'll be talking about the issue of Monnapule Saleng. Yeah, well, Saleng, Saleng last played about 3 months ago for Pirates against Al Ali, which was a bit of a weird thing because prior to that, he hadn't been playing as well. He had missed a couple of games, and he was sort of brought back in. Play against Ali on the 7th of December. I think primarily due to the threat that Al Ali could pose because it was the first time since 2013 that Pirates had played Al Ali, and the game was a big game, definitely, and it got the attention that it deserved. And possibly they thought that having Saleng part of the team, that they could possibly give Rivero the upper hand. That's why he probably did start that match, and we haven't seen him since. And a lot of speculation, a lot of drama, a lot of media coverage as well has been given to this Saleng Saga. And it's weird when everyone is kind of saying the same thing and at the same time kind of not saying anything. Because when let's just start on the 16th of February, when Mickey Jr., for those of you who don't know, Mickey Jr. is considered as arguably the best African football journalist on the African continent. So to give you a background of backstory to this, he came to watch the Soweto Derby in South Africa, and after the derby on the 16th of February, he released a bombshell, basically a story on Monnapule Saleng, where he stated that Saleng is not, or supposedly Saleng is not happy at Pirates due to the salary that he's earning. They've made a lot of false promises. That's the management of Pirates to the player with regards to increasing his salary and all that. He further went on to say that Saleng is receiving a salary equivalent to a DDC player who just got promoted to the first team, which enraged a lot of people. And he further went on to say that his management seems to be benefiting from everything because at that stage they hadn't really advised him on what to do, and it kind of left him in the dark. And Saleng wanted to leave apparently in January. Now, after this, the chairman of Morocco Swallows, or former chairman rather, came out and dismissed any claims that Saleng was earning the salary that equivalent to a DDC player who just got promoted to the first team. And this is significant in the sense that when Pirates signed Saleng, they loaned him out immediately to Morocco Swallows for a season before he came back to Pirates. Now, it was weird because and he also mentioned that Saleng had been training with the DDC squad at that time, which is, for me, I think if that was the case, someone somehow would have found out, not even necessarily a journalist, because South Africans love their football, and especially with all the drama around Monnapule Saleng, any slight thing they could have gathered, or if someone had spotted Saleng somewhere, they would have taken a picture of him, obviously, and it would have been all over social. So that claim, I don't think holds any weight. Well, after the Mickey story, Soccer Laduma journalist Peter Du Toit released another story. Well, they basically did a video where Du Toit did sort a kind of damage control type of thing, where he said that the Pirates management are giving Saleng time, because the club at that point had been saying that Saleng is dealing with personal issues, and they're giving him time, to just sort his stuff out. But he dropped another bombshell where he said that Al Ali last year were interested in Monnapule Saleng, and they actually contacted Pirates about the availability of Saleng. But they've been going through, just monitoring Saleng's progress, and they found out that he hasn't been playing and he hasn't been training. So they've kind of the interest from Ali's side is kind of died down in Saleng. But Saleng knew this; he was told that Ali are interested in him, and this sort of enticed or agonized him to the point where he started missing training because the move kind of in wasn't moving along the pace maybe that he expected, because Detroit said that Ali needed to were waiting to get rid of Percy Tau in order to bring in Saleng. So Saleng was going to act basically as a replacement for Tau. And he further went on to say that when it comes to Pirates and dealing with other clubs, in terms of and agents in relation to transfers, they are the best in the business that he's seen in his career of journalism, which kind of felt as a damage control type of thing. And let's just say it for what it is. Let's not hold back really, because that's kind of what it sounded like. But on the 26th of February, Mickey released another story where he gave weight to Detroit's story of Al Ali being interested in him, and that's actually true. Ali shadow listed him after realizing that he's not playing, because they were looking for a left or right winger who's left-footed in that kind of versatile kind of mode. But but whether Tau was going to go or not would not have affected the transfer. Now, funny enough, recently Monnapule Saleng got a call up to the Bafana Chan squad to play. He's going to be playing in the Chan qualifiers against Egypt, which raises, it just gives more questions than answers really. Usually when a player is deemed available to perform, it usually puts a lot of things to rest, but in terms of questions. But now this is the questions as to whether, if the club claims that Saleng is having personal issues, are his personal issues only applicable or preventing him from playing with Pirates, or it doesn't matter when he can go play with Bafana? Because that's what I don't, or we haven't even, the thing is the club hasn't even been updating the fan base as to what stage is the Saleng issue at. Is he at the stage where he's going to be coming back, or not? He's like, they've been very numb on it. And the way that they do things at the national team level is that they'll usually call the players to make sure that they are available. So they must have contacted Saleng and asked him, can you play for Bafana? Can you play at the high level for 90 minutes? And by him being in the list that's going to play the Chan qualifiers, he probably did say yes, that he is available, and that probably means that he's in training, but just not with Pirates, because we have not seen him training with Pirates. And through maybe the club socials and all that, and Detroit even said that he's been missing training, and Pirates have been kind of allowing him to, as a means to deal with whatever he's going through, which is just weird. And this situation, it affects Saleng first and foremost, and it also affects Pirates, particularly Pirates this season. It affects Saleng because number one, I think it's an AFCON year, and Hugo Bruce is someone, I think he's getting to that point where he has his, not just his starting 11, but a team already. He knows probably 80% of his players before he even has to think about, we have to draft a list for friendlies or qualifiers or whatever it may be. And when the coach gets to a point where he already has a core, a spine in the team, it becomes hard for other players to get in. But unless you just go supernova and you start putting in clinics week in week out. But for Saleng, if Saleng had been playing in the Champions League, but for me, because he started the season like a house on fire. Let's not be honest. He saved us in the opening game against Chippa, came up clutch against Polokwane City in the league again, and put us on our way to winning the MTN 18 in Durban last year by equalizing. So yeah, man, he looked like he was getting back to the Saleng of 2022-23, where he just went ballistic and really at moments was carried Pirates. So yeah, with AFCON being this year and potentially the World Cup, Saleng could potentially miss out on a lot of career defining experiences, particularly if Bafana do qualify to the World Cup. And for Pirates, Rivero has been having problems with finding consistency on his right side of attack. And we can see this because on the left side it's just been really always. And particularly this season, he hasn't really changed the squad around a lot. But the right hand side, he's alternated between Kota, Dion Hoto, before that Monnapule Saleng, and now Bandile Shandu recently. But Shandu doesn't really seem like he suits that kind of regular role. And what you have with Kota is that Kota is young, and you can just see it in the way that he plays, whereby sometimes some of the things he does are predictable, or he tends to rush some actions where when you see Relay on the other side, on the left side of attack, he kind of he kind of makes defenders dance to his tune, or his composure in and around the box is so, but it's beyond his age, where he'll go one side and come back in. But Nkota, most of the times, if he cuts back in, that's all he's gonna do. He usually doesn't go back to the other side. Let me say he cuts into his left foot, he won't go back to his right, because and that most of the times makes him predictable. And Dion Hoto's, while he has been doing well, his decision making sometimes lets him down, and I just feel like his days as a winger are kind of numbered. And when you have Saleng in the team and playing well, then it just makes things easier. And don't forget the Pirates are competing on all fronts this season, in the league, the CAF Champions League, also the Nedbank Cup. So you're gonna need depth, and you're gonna need big players to be coming to the party. And those players are like Saleng, who has that thing in him where he doesn't necessarily, he only needs sometimes 2 chances in a match to kind of nick you a goal when the game gets tough. When the chips are down, he's that type of guy who can just pop up anywhere and nick it at the last minute, or late off to a teammate to put it in. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's basically the Saleng issue. I feel at this point, it's only Mona who can come out and tell us what's going on. But yeah, tell me, what are your thoughts, guys, on this whole Saleng Saga? Ali coming in for him skipping training, and everything man, that's happened around him. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. It really helps. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.